So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can use some built-in features in VS Code to make our app script development a little more fun and easy. So let's say we have a file here and some sort of HTML file. Assuming this would be in your app script, you have your HTML file and you may want to do some things in this HTML file, and you'll probably have some sort of script. And a common thing that you would do in scripts, you would probably from this front end call some sort of backend function that you've created here. Now, usually the way you would do that, you would have to go here and do google.script.run and then .do stuff and then this, and then usually you would have things like with success handler because you want something to happen after you get that function successfully completed, and basically you'll have some sort of callback function in here of some sort, and you may also have like error handler. So as you can see, very annoying to type all of this. So what we can do, we can create autocomplete to basically just do GSR for Google Script Run, and then basically just autocomplete the rest for us. So we get that Google Script Run thing all the time. So the way we can do that, we can actually add our own shortcuts. So you may have noticed like we have all these shortcuts already. Like when I started, I did exclamation and tab. I got all the autocomplete. And also when you do some sort of, let's say, class with this, see it autocompletes to this. So how can we make this happen? So what we can do, we can press F1 to get this command palette. I think that's what they call this. We can search for snippets. And here you'll have your user snippets. See, there's preferences, configure user snippets. So if I click on that, see, I'm going to get this list of different languages as a pop-up. In this particular case, we need to decide what language should this pop-up go under. And there is this language specific ones, and there's also the one on top that says the main snippet. Global. So let me actually do that. I'm going to click on the first one. And as you can see, we get this, which basically gives us a nice little example of how this works. So what I can do, I can basically just take this example and uncomment this with command question mark or control question mark if you're on Windows. We need to probably comment this example word right there. So basically what we have here, it's a JSON file, and here we have this command name print to console, and as you can see there is this scope and it says JavaScript, TypeScript. So this is like which languages should this autocomplete show up for, and then we have the prefix, what the prefix should be. So the prefix is the actual shortcut you want for this. So let's say our shortcut is going to be GSR for Google Script Run, and then the body right in here in quotes. So you need to type the actual code in quotes here. So I'm going to do google.script.run, open and close parentheses. Well, actually we need some sort of function, something like that. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to first name this. So instead of print to console, we'll say Google apps script run. I don't know, some description. It doesn't really matter. And we'll keep this JavaScript, TypeScript maybe too, that's fine. And then description, your description. Doesn't matter. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And if we go to our HTML file and save this, if I type GSR, see this shows up. It says Google App Script, which is basically the first thing that show up, and this autocomplete. If I tab, see it auto-completes the rest for me, just like that. So now I built my own shortcut to be able to get this autocomplete to work. Now, the other thing that could be useful, usually when you do this, this function should be the backend function that you have here. So we might want to automatically have it go here so we can type the function name. Right now, if you notice, if I go and do GSR, hit tab, see, it goes to the next line, and then I have to go back, click on this function, and type the function name. So the way we can do that, we can go back to that code snippet. And again, if you don't have this open, you closed it for some reason, you can always do that F1, get back to this, and then search for your configuration file. There it is. And then this is the one. So I'm going to click on that. So that's going to bring this. And what I can do here, I can work with this dollar signs. See, it says this $2. The way this works, it goes by the position of the cursor. So basically, where do you want the cursor to be when you autocomplete this? And if you remember, it automatically went to this next line before. And because there's no $1, it automatically jumped to $2. Now I'm going to get rid of that $2 out of here. And then over here, instead of this func, we want to basically go to that position. And if you look here, there's a good example here. See, it says $1 label. So I'm going to copy that example and replace this word func with that. And then instead of label, I'm going to call my function, something like that. Or you could do func, which is the word I had before. So if I hit save right now, go back to my HTML and see, well, this is actually JavaScript, the script tag. And if I do GSR tab, see, when I tab, it automatically highlights that my function part, so I can type what my function is called. So I can now immediately type do stuff without having to click back and select that part. So it auto selects that part of the function that we need to actually change. And usually when we do this, we want, like I said, to have that success handler and also that failure handler. And you could do different scripts for these. So maybe you want one that doesn't have that success handler and stuff. The other one does, something like that. So let me delete this and go back. And let's do another one of this code. So this was our first one that we just did. So all I'm going to do is just grab this first one, copy it, do a comma here, and paste another one below. And I'm going to name this something else. Well, usually what I would do, actually, I would just do something like this. It's easier for me to read this, but it's basically just a different name than this one. So now we need the shortcut. So I'm going to do GSRS for success. Or I'm just going to do GSR all because I'm going to use both. So I'll just do this, GSR all. And what I'm going to do here, right after run, I'm going to do dot. And then I'm going to do my with success handler. And then I'll do also the failure. Let's type this correctly. So you want to be careful with this. And this is why this is so helpful, because it's so easy to mistype something. And then I'll do immediately, see with this things, you also get your callbacks. And we could do one for like the newer JavaScript syntax would be something like this. And you would do your function here. And then I'm going to do another one for this one. Just like that. So basically just have all the stuff in here. I'm going to hit save, go back to my HTML and see there's this now all option that I can either type or go there, tab, and I got all of this just like that. Now the next thing that we probably would want to do, see it also just selects this one, which is great, is to basically have some sort of line separation. So usually when you do these things, you would probably have this like on a new line like this, and this one on a new line like this. So basically we want to have like new lines to separate these things, so we can go here and do whatever we have to do. And to create those new lines, let's get rid of this. We're gonna go back to this, and right in here I want that new line, and the new line will be this N character, the /n or whatever. So this will be basically our new line. So if you didn't want the spaces, you wouldn't want those spaces, because we're now going to use a new line. So as of right now, if I save this like this, go back and do my shortcut, see, I get my new lines, but we just get one single new line. We now want another new line, so it basically just has that separation that I was looking for. So for that, I'll just go back and add another new line after this. So another /n, another /n. Save this, go back, and again, let's test this. So we got this. See, now it highlights this function. Now we can type the new function name. Now the final thing I want to do, I want to make sure that after I type this new function and I hit tab, I want that to go automatically inside of this success handler. So I can tell it what I want to do. Or maybe you would want it to go in here in the parentheses so you can pass some variable, which is very likely actually if you're going to get some sort of return out of this. So the way I can control that, again, if I go back, I can simply just go in here, and I want it after that I typed this over here, I want to then hit tab and go right inside of this quotes after my tab. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right in here and do $1. So remember, $1 is the first one. Actually, that should be $2, because $1 is going to be this, the function name, and then when we hit tab, we want to go to this $2. So now I'm going to go back, remove this, and type my shortcut, and see, I'm going to do stuff, and then hit tab, and it automatically goes right in here. Now, at this point, when it goes right in here, I want it actually to be tabbed in so I can start typing over here. So for that, basically, we need a tab right in front of this. And to do a tab character, we'll just do, well, I'm not sure if T works, but we're going to try to find out. If it doesn't, we'll just do spaces, I guess. But I think it should work. So I'm going to go in front of that $2 and do T for tab like this. Save this, go back, and let's just erase all of this and do our shortcut again. Some name, tab, and as you can see, that went right in here, tabbed in, so I can type whatever I have to do. And then if you wanted to, you can do another tab, the $3 to go somewhere else, like here. So that's also possible. So now I have my shortcut. So basically, you can build your own shortcut like this, and you can have multiple of them. Now, I don't really want this first one, to be honest with you, because I just want this to always have this handler. So I'm going to remove this comma. Remember that in between each one of these, you need to have a comma to separate this. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to change this to GSR, just like that. Now, I may want a second shortcut when I get variables back and things like that. So I would just copy this and create another one. So comma, paste that second one. Let's just call this data return. I'm just going to call it GSR data. And what I'll do in this one, I will actually, when we have a success handler, I will just pass a variable here in parentheses. And I want that variable to have a pre-filled default name. And that means we're going to use this syntax for that. So I'm going to copy that, paste it right in here, and I'll just call it as a default data. Now, I want this to be the second one. So the first one, we'll do the function, then hit tab, go to 2 to this one, and then we'll do 3 for this third one. And then I'll also do an error, I guess, E object for the failure. And for that, I'm not going to provide a second name. That's fine for me. You could also obviously do that one as well. The same method should work. So I'm going to save this, go back. So at this point, if I just type GSR, hit tab, see, that should give us the first function. I can do stuff. And then if I tab, it goes over here. See, now I can do stuff. And then if I go back and do GSR data, see, that gives me my other autocomplete. Then I can hit tab, that goes to the data variable. If I want to keep this name, I'll hit tab again, go to this section, and over here, I start working with that data, just like that. That looks good. And finally, we might need one when we actually pass some arguments to this function right here inside of this do stuff. So I'll go back and copy this one again. See, there's a comma in the end. Maybe it's better to put this comma on a new line like this. I don't know. It's up to you. And this one, we'll call it args. Here it is. And for this, basically what I'll do, I'll have the function, and then we'll pass some arguments in this function, which means we're basically just going to do this thing again, copy, paste it in this parentheses, and this will be the second one. So I'll just call it arg. That's the second one. And after we hit tab after that, maybe I want to have also the data here as well. So I'll just paste it in here. I'll do that as the third one. I'll call this data. And then after we hit tab, we'll go to 4. And then finally, I'm going to do that error over here. And I'm going to do another tab in here, just in case. And I'll do $5 in case we want to move to this one when we're done. So now I should have 3 shortcuts. So if I go back, I'm going to do GSR args. That should give me this. Then I can tab and do my argument. And then I can do the data variable. I can hit tab and I'm going to go here, tab and I'm going to go here. Works. And then if I just do regular GSR, that should give us this. And it automatically just goes to this. See, now we got a few different versions of this, depending on which one you want to use. And then maybe finally what I would do, just for my preference, I may want to send this to a new line like this to have it more aligned. That's just another way of writing this. And basically, I just need a new line in front of all of this periods. So I'll just go back and do that for one or more of these variations. So for example, in this case, I'll do n here, and then another n in front of that dot. And then finally, another one in front of this one. So this is just a preference thing. You can do obviously whatever you want. So that's the point of this, that you can create your own stuff however you like it. Just like that. And you could also do one with the old syntax. So this is all with the new syntax. So if you wanted one with the old syntax with function in there, you could also do one too. So I'm just going to make it for this version only. Copy this middle one and do a comma, paste it here. And basically, let's just give it old. Like this. And basically, the only difference here is that this is not going to be an arrow function. So we're going to do function, the word, and then we'll remove the arrow just like that. And then do the same for this. And I think that should do it. So I'm just going to save that, go back, and now we should have all those variations. So if I just do GSR args, see, we got this. So now we have our nice way of getting our autocomplete, passing our variables, and doing whatever it is we need to do. And if I do the old version one, This is with that function syntax. Should still work the same way. And that should do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.